And we are back. Another outstanding episode of the Square Table Degenerates. Today, we welcome to the show former Browns wide receiver and current Northeastern State head football coach, Mr. Darrin Chiaverini. How are you today, sir?
I'm good, my man. I appreciate you having me on the show.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's a nice day out there, man. But you're in Oklahoma now, or are you on vacation? Where you at?
Shoot, man, I'm working, man. It's football season, so we're in between meetings right now. So I thought I'd jump on with you quickly so we can talk a little bit of football, talk a little bit of my background. But yeah, we're in football season, man. So it's 7 days a week, man.
That's beautiful, man. You say, and hearing you say we're in football season, that makes my heart skip a beat, man. Because I love me some football, Darrin. I love me some football. Next Sunday at 5 in the morning, maybe not 5, that's a little early, but maybe like 6 or 7 in the morning when we go down there to the pit for that Browns-Bengals game. Hell yeah. That's what I'm talking about, brother. For you guys out there playing and coaching, right? That's fun. But for us, it's another season too. Like people don't realize, man, to get up. I mean, for a guy my age, our age, 47, 48, to get up that early in the morning, get all that stuff together, get all the food ready, get all the weed and all the beer and everything, get downtown, stand up. You're standing up for 5-6 hours. That's a lot of work. And walk all the way over to the stadium. I mean, it's not like a lot of work, but like compared to like sitting around watching a movie, that's a lot of work.
Yeah, but you guys are drinking all day and eating all day, so it's a good thing for you guys, man.
Oh yeah. We're not dead time. We're not sitting in an ice bath for 9 hours after the game because we got hit on the way there, I guess.
That's right, no doubt.
All right, so you're a California boy, right? So were you like born on a surfboard? If not, what did your parents do for a living to get like such a go-getter athlete as a son? What was your
well, I grew up in California, but I grew up inland, so I didn't grow up like on the beach, man. I was probably about 35, 40 minutes from the beach. Grew up in Corona, California. My dad, was an entertainer, so he was a singer. He's on the Pulp Fiction soundtrack. His band, the Lively Ones, was a big surf band back in the 60s. And then my mom was a homemaker. She worked some odd jobs here and there, but my dad didn't even play football. My dad was an ice hockey player. So
okay.
I was the first person in the family to play football. And so it was kind of interesting how, my journey came about, and just fell in love with the game at a young age, found out I was pretty good at it. And then, was a really good high school football player, and ended up going to University of Colorado and playing there for 4 years, and then getting drafted by the Browns, spending 3 years with the Browns before getting traded to the Cowboys. So definitely my journey's kind of taken me all over the United States. So yeah, that's kind of like how I got started in football, though.
That's crazy with the homemakers, because my mom was the same way. My mom, she had like a job here or there, but maybe for the most part when we were little, especially, she just stayed home and worked. And it's gone by the wayside now, man. Not too many ladies do that. I mean, a lot of it's just the cost of living. I mean, to realistically have your wife stay at home and work, you got to be up. You got to be 6 figures at least, if not more than that. Especially in some of these communities, it's just a bygone era. I mean, I kind of miss it. And I mean, I don't know. Some people say let everybody work all the time, but there's something to be said for staying home with the kids and just raising them the way you want to raise them, not the way some daycare raises them or whatever. You know what I mean? There's something to be said for that kind of stuff.
I mean, I think nowadays the cost of living is so much more expensive. So, everybody's got to have 2 incomes in a household. But back then the cost of living wasn't as high. So, mom could stay home a little bit more. But nowadays it's changed a lot.
Well, it's crazy too, because back then there was nothing to buy. I mean, you could buy stuff. It wasn't like today. Like today, you're inundated. They say we see like so many thousands of advertisements a day. So back in 1984, there was no Amazon Prime. There was no let's scroll and see what we could buy on eBay. It was just you had that and that was it. so it's just a lot different today with the money thing. I think. I mean, and we are all kind of there. Like we just get very, very material, and it's hard to not get materialistic. It really is, but. Man, it just it harkens back to that simple time. You just had the family, you can appreciate it instead of just who's got the latest video game, and everybody has the same thing, right? It's crazy out there, man.
Yeah, no doubt, man. No doubt.
All right, now it says you played baseball back in the day too, and as well in all the other sports. You dabbled in all kinds of stuff. Were there any sports you tried and you wanted like no part of it all when you was a kid or teenager or something like that?
I was one of those guys that loved playing all sports. I wish I would have picked up golf at an earlier age. I started playing golf when I was like in my 20s and, become a pretty decent golfer. But I wish I would have played as a young person, just because there's so much to learn. And, you could have grown so much as a golfer if you started at a younger age, but, I pretty much dabbled in everything. I played roller hockey. I played ice hockey. I played, baseball, basketball, football, you name it. I enjoyed competing. So it's probably why I became a coach. I love to compete. I love to, turn on the scoreboard and see who can score more points.
Now, when you was playing baseball, what position were you typically?
I was a center fielder. So I played center field, and I was a good baseball player, but I wasn't passionate about the game of baseball. I was good at it, but I wasn't passionate about it like I was with football. And so I always knew that I was going to, follow the football path going forward out of high school.
Okay. Yes. Center field's kind of like wide receiver. Maybe run around a lot. Same thing. Now, did you ever try like wrestling? I would assume high school wrestling, that kind of sport, does not appeal to somebody like you, just because it's I never got into wrestling because it's like, we're bigger guys, and not huge big, but like once you get in it, you got to maximize shred all your weight. Like I can't physically get down to 180 pounds or whatever it would have been and enjoy my life. And so that kind of sport is just crazy like that. Did you ever try wrestling at all?
I wasn't into wrestling at all, honestly. One of my good friends was a state wrestling champ, but I never got into it when I was in high school.
Okay. What about that's random, but wait, you're from Southern California. What about skateboard? Did you ever get to see Tony Hawk and them guys out there?
I wasn't a big skater, honestly. I was like so much into football and baseball and basketball. I just really didn't get into skating that much, and it was obviously a big skate culture in Southern California, but it just wasn't something that I was heavily involved in.
100%. Oh, we got a message from Doof. He's from England. What up, Joey and Darrin? Hello from the UK, where we play proper football with our feet. Hello. They call it football over there, but it's really called soccer. And if you type in, the emoji in the chat, it says soccer. It's a soccer ball. So that tells you right there. And I hope you guys have a both great day and week ahead. Looking forward to the NFL here in the UK. Yes, sir. Don't forget, everybody out there, if you're out there, October 5th, Tottenham Spur Stadium, I'm going to be there. I don't know who's going to come with me. I got 3 extra tickets. I'm thinking 3 people. I think I got 3 in mind, but we'll see who's going to. Tickets ain't cheap. Tickets are not cheap anymore, Darrin. My goodness.
They're not cheap.
We went to the Browns Steelers game last. We go to a lot of the Browns games. Brown season ticket holder, but we usually go to the games close. Like I'm going to the Baltimore game and a couple other games. But last year we went to Pittsburgh for the Browns Steelers game. It was only like $60-$70 with the group seats, but now it's like minimum's $200. Man, I ain't paying $200 to go to a game and around here. It's not happening. I could if it was something I really wanted to, but I can't. I'm going to go broke if I'm going to. I'll just go watch it at a bar as opposed to paying $250 to go stand up in Detroit, right? Not that Detroit's a bad stadium. It's a great stadium. That's a great stadium, man. I love Detroit.
That's just too much for a ticket. That's the only thing that really is kind of, in my opinion, it's kind of hurt the average fan is that you can't take your kids to go see a game because it's going to cost you $1,000 to just even get halfway decent seats. So that was one thing I wish they would do a better job of trying to curtail just the ticket prices and try to make it affordable for families to afford to go see a game.
How do we do that though?
They could do it. They make so much money off TV revenue and TV contracts. They're not making the bulk of their money off of ticket prices. They're not. So they could do it if they wanted to do it, but at the end of the day, they want to make as much money as possible.
Oh yeah. And what I think would happen, they try like a good intention thing, and then they do it, and then some jackass scalper would come in and buy all the family sections, and so they would. It's I don't know. It's everything in our heart of hearts. We want everybody to be be an amateur, be work for whatever and have fun out there for our entertainment, but. At the end of the day, these guys are people too. They want to make money. All the players. You're a player. All these guys want to make all kinds of money. That's not the ultimate goal. We want to make some money, right? You want to have fun playing football, but I'm not going to make somebody else $8 million when I could make a little bit of that money too. So, it's a balance. It's a balance. I definitely see both sides of it.
Yeah, no doubt.
All right. Now I noticed that you're like damn near. You're younger than me. You're October 77. I'm December 76, and I'm class of 95. You're class of 94. Now, how'd you pull that off?
No, I'm class of 95. So
you are? Okay. Well, your damn Twitter, the Wikipedia page is wrong then. That was ridiculous.
It should say 19. I graduated. My senior season was 94, but I graduated in 95 from high school. So
that's what it was. Well, explain that. What happens there? You didn't play 95 or?
Well, yeah, but so when I graduated in '95, June of '95, I was a freshman at the University of Colorado. So the football season's obviously in the fall, so it was the fall of '94, and then you don't graduate until June. So once the fall graduated,
Oh, I
went to
see
Colorado.
now. Oh, so you just didn't have any classes the spring of '95 in high school was basically it, and then you
Well,
graduated in June.
you had classes, but you're finishing your senior year of high school.
Oh, okay, 94, 95. Okay, that makes more sense now. That makes a lot more sense now. Okay. Now you're in. This is a hard right turn here, but I always like asking questions about situational shit because it makes me curious, right? So you're in Southern California, right, in 1994. Okay, and there's an OJ chase going on. How far are you physically from this, and what are your and your friends' reactions to this? I mean, we were out there, we just watched on TV, we were glued to it. You guys are right in the thick of it. So one, how close are you to this thing, and two, what did you guys do during the chase?
I mean, I was about an hour from where OJ was on the freeway because I lived in Corona, and the chase was obviously on the 5 freeway down there in LA. So it wasn't that far from us. It was right by UCLA's campus, where Brentwood is. Brentwood's like, a couple miles from UCLA's campus. So I was actually a senior in high school, and I was watching it on TV. I was at the house, and I was watching it because it was like, obviously there was a bunch of sports on. There was the NBA playoffs were on. There was a big golf tournament was on, and obviously the OJ thing came on the screen. So definitely a pretty surreal moment. I mean, everybody knows what went on with that thing, so it was pretty surreal that was going on, and just to see the amount of people that were on the freeways, and it was just pretty much a very, very surreal scene down in LA.
It's funny, Darrin, because I think there's 2 instances in our lifetimes that really spurred technology. When I say spurred technology, I mean really pushed it to the brink, made it a lot faster. One was the OJ stuff, because that was one. I mean, that was the first instance I remember of when they had a cell phone that was recorded. It's like, oh, everybody's getting used to cell phones now, and the dissemination of information, like AOL was just coming out, Windows 95. So that OJ trial really sped up how fast we got information. It really, and the other one being 9/11, but. It just internet change and just how we get stuff. Because back in the day, you get the newspaper, you have to wait. It's how now after the OJ trial, it's just you get in 2 seconds, and that's spurred on, to a lesser extent, Facebook and Twitter and how we get information now, how it's instant, right? It's crazy fast.
Yeah.
All right. Now, at what age did you learn you were special athletically? I mean, we were growing up. There was always 1 or 2 kids. There's Oscar over there. He can hit it 300 feet when he's 12 years old. How old were you when you first started to realize that, at least maybe?
I mean, I was probably a young age when I knew I was a good athlete, but I think when I realized that I had like a chance to be a really good player, probably when I got to high school and just saw that I was better than most, I was better than the majority of the guys I played against. And so probably my sophomore year in high school was when I really kind of made that jump to where okay, I could be really good at playing this game. And, obviously I was a wide receiver. So, to go out there and be a dominant player in high school and then start picking up college offers, I think that was pretty cool experience, and to have a chance to go to college because I was the first person in my family to go to college. So, it was definitely an awesome experience to, be one of the top players in California coming out of high school, and then obviously transition to Colorado, which back then we were one of the top programs in college football back in the 90s. And so, definitely enjoyed my journey going from California to Boulder, and then obviously getting a chance to get drafted and play in the NFL was obviously a pretty cool experience.
Did they call you all the stereotypical stuff? Your blue collar work ethic, deceptively fast, great route runner, good hands,
possession receiver, blue collar, hard worker. You get all the white guy stereotypes, man.
Great hands, right?
Great hands for sure.
Oh my goodness. Well, there was a guy the Browns had this year, Luke Floria out of Kent State. It reminded me of a lot of guys like you and Brian Brennan. They give their stereotypical. It just makes me laugh.
Did he make the team or no?
He got a designated for return injury designation. His shoulder was jacked up a little bit. I hope he can. We got a very confusing receiver room in Cleveland this year. A lot of guys we got Jerry Jew, your potential Pro Bowler, and then the rest of the Cedric Tillman's probably your number 2. And then after that, it's a bunch of guys who could be good, a bunch of what ifs, basically. So I don't know, man. I think Flacco's going to come out gunning, dude. I'm really high on Flacco. We'll get into some Brown stuff, too. I'm going to pick your brain on some Colorado stuff because we got We got a guy here in Colorado, from Colorado you may have heard of. But like, how many visits did you get to take? Any more visits besides Colorado? Where else did you go? Did you get 5, right?
Yeah, but I only took 3 of them. I went to UCLA, I went to University of Arizona, and I went to Colorado. Those were the 3 that I went to.
Okay, what sold you on being a Buffalo?
I just really fell in love with Boulder. I think Boulder's a really unique town, especially someone being from California. There's a lot of California people that went to University of Colorado, and so fell in love with the campus. Obviously, it was it was one of the top programs in college football when Coach McCartney was the head coach, and then Coach Neuheisel ended up taking over the program when I was coming out of high school, and so he'd also recruited me when he was at UCLA, and so it just felt right, and definitely was the best decision for me at the time, and I don't regret it at all. I had a great career at Colorado, and we had some really good teams there.
All right, so like when you're a D1 scholarship athlete, like what do you do all day? You guys aren't working out, or did school, work, and football just take up all your time? I mean, is it just all your time? I mean, how many hours? Like say transform yourself back to sophomore, junior year, or whatever typical week during the football season. How many?
I mean, back then it was different because we were an afternoon practice team. So you would get up in the morning, you have class in the morning, and then, you obviously have class all through the lunch break. And then after lunch, you have a 1 o'clock team meeting. After the team meeting, then you're going to have like O&D. You're going to be on the field like 3 o'clock, 3 to like 5:30 practice. After practice, you shower, and then you got dinner. Then you got study hall. And then, you get back to the room probably around like 9 o'clock, and then do it all again the next day. So it's a full day for sure.
Okay. So they're taking up most of your day there. Now, what is better about, in your opinion, what is cooler about the Colorado campus and college life then as opposed to now? Like what is better back then and it doesn't exist now?
I think what was better back then is that you didn't have any social media. You didn't have any cell phones. So you just could be a kid, man. You could be a college student and not worry about someone videotaping you. You could be a college student and not worry about people putting stuff on social media. I mean, I think it was just a simpler time, and obviously social media has been great for certain things, but I also think it hinders people in their just development as a young person in society. So I enjoyed not having a cell phone. I enjoyed not having social media, man, and just you could get lost, and I don't think that can happen nowadays with the way it is. If you had a bad game, like you might read about it in the paper the next day and then it's gone. If you have a bad game now, it's like they tag you in every single tweet. You get beat down for a whole week. I just don't think it was what it was meant to do. But definitely enjoyed the anonymity of not having social media for sure.
That's crazy when you think about it. I mean, and I'm guilty of it my damn self. I mean, on some guys, probably more than others. I would say LeBron James has probably gotten the brunt of my stuff over the years, and rightfully so. I mean, I'm from Cleveland. What do you want? The guy basically said, your town sucks. Bye. Of course we're going to lose it. We haven't had a title. We got a title now. But, I mean, we do as fans, and we get emotional with the stuff, especially if, if the fan – what I think a lot of athlete types don't get is like, it's fine. We get that, like, you want the protection of that, but if you're going to talk shit about a city, expect to get it back. We're going to give it to you back. We're going to rake you over the coals. We take that to our heart. Like, I'm Cleveland through and through, man. You coming to Cleveland, you better, you coming after the assassin Joey Edibles, baby. We're going to throw you down. I'm not going to stay here and, oh, yeah, you're a fighting athlete. I'm not going to touch you. No, I'm going to give it right back to you. So I think some of these guys, they just don't know. They don't realize the pure passion. For some people, it might be a job. For Clevelanders, man, at least me, I don't know, call me crazy for one. Football's life, dude. Football, God, country, family, that's about it. And I love me some football, dude. I'll go to war with my Brownies, buddy. I will go to straight war, and it's and when you go to war, casualties happen, man. So you got to be careful out there. That's anybody. That's just social media in general. But
I'm hoping the Browns can bounce back this year. Obviously, we'll see. We'll see.
Oh my goodness,
it's going to be interesting.
All right, who are some of your party buddies in college? Now, I had to be like Coy Detmer, right? Do you guys have
Coy was a little older than me, but the guys that I used to hang out with were like Mike Machete was one of my quarterbacks. Gabe Leonard was my roommate, so we used to go out all the time. Steve Rosga, who was a safety for us, we used to hang out all the time. Miles Kuhn was a tight end from Texas. We used to always go party with him, and like it was a fun time, man. It was Boulder's a great town, by the way. You ever been to Boulder?
I've been to. Well, I was in Lakewood. I'm trying to think. I went to Boulder because we went partying. It was for work. I was there in 2017, 16 or 17, and because I was training.
Boulder's a great town. It really is. It's a great college town, and I'm glad to see the Buffs, starting to make some moves in football again. I know they lost their opener, but I think what Deion's been able to do has been awesome for the community, and hopefully they can start winning a couple more games this year. I think losing Shador obviously and losing Travis is losing like Jimmy Horn and the other guys they had. They had some really good players from last year's team, so it's going to be hard to replace them. But that's college football. I mean, everybody's got to replace their guys. So I'm hoping they can get on a little run here.
Oh, for sure. Now, do you guys? You're back in college. Do you got a couple group chats going? Do you guys have reunions? What's the? I don't have group chats explicitly with everybody from everything, but a couple of guys from when I was in the service with, we get reminisce and shit like that. You guys got something like that for Colorado?
I have a couple guys. I have a couple old football players that still text me. We have a group thread going with some of our former CU players that whenever the games come on, they'll text me. I get a lot of messages on Instagram too and Twitter. So that's a lot of guys keep in touch with me through Instagram and Twitter.
Yeah, that's all I do at Facebook. I got so many random Facebook chats. It's just great. That's that. We're talking about the outside of social media, but this is one of the upsides of social media. Keeping in touch with people. Like before 04, 05, MySpace, Facebook came out, I really didn't. I had my core group of 3 or 4 friends we hung out with, but like the extended people, there's people I hadn't seen in 9, 10 years, and then suddenly, bam, I either talk with them or seen them. It's like that part is the good part. You can really connect. That part. Yeah. I think for the people our age who knew life before social media and now know how to, that's a lot easier than some of these young kids. They just grew up and that was reality. It's a lot different.
Yeah, I agree with you.
All right. Now is the 1996 Holiday Bowl, is that probably your best game in memory? If not, give me a couple of your top ones there in college.
I had some really good games. Holiday Bowl was obviously kind of my coming out party where I was only a sophomore and I had I think 7 or 8 catches in that game. Had a big bowl game my senior year against Oregon. Had 3 for 100 yards and a touchdown. And I remember just we had some really good battles. We had some really good teams. I was on 2 10-win teams, I believe a 9-win team, and then we won 3 bowl games during my time. So. I was a team captain my senior year, which was an honor to be named a team captain because it's voted on by the team. So, I think, when you can leave a legacy at Colorado, I think that was pretty cool. They started an award called the Buffalo Heart Award, and I was the first ever winner of the award. So I thought that was really cool to start that kind of trend. And I know Travis Hunter won it last year. So, I think, I think when you get older, like we are now, you reflect back on when you were in college and just the fact that you're able to make a mark on an institution is pretty cool.
Yeah. Party. I was older when I went to Kent. I was a little older. I didn't start till I was 23, but man, I had some parties down there. I ended up getting 4 disorderly conducts when I was down there. 2 on campus, 2 off campus. Just because back then they had no Uber. And I wasn't trying to get DUI because I already had a couple of DUIs from the 90s. So I was like, I would walk, and every place where I lived in this place called University Inn right there in Water Street. And to get to the bars, you had to walk past the police stations. That was just that was not a good mix, Darrin. That was not. That was a good time though. I was down there when Cribbs was down there, Josh Cribbs was there, and Antonio Gates was senior the one year I was down there.
Yeah, I got you.
The names I can remember. All right, going to the 99 draft, did you have any idea where you're potentially go? Did you have a couple teams come up to you like, yeah, we'll take you here in this round, or was it just totally blank?
Honestly, I thought that Tampa Bay was going to draft me because I met with Tony Dungy at the draft. They called me on draft day and said they were going to take me, and then the Bengals worked me out and they called me too. So I thought it was going to be the Tampa Bay or Cincinnati. I didn't think it was going to be Cleveland. And then Dwight Clark called me, and then obviously they drafted me. So it was a great experience just to get drafted. That's every kid's dream coming out of high school, going to college, and getting a chance to hear your name called and get drafted into the National Football League. That's an honor in itself. So, definitely a cool experience going to Cleveland, man. I still remember when the next week, because Cleveland was coming back, they were an expansion team again. So, I flew in the next week for minicamp, and like the practice fields weren't even ready yet. So we went to like a high school, and we practiced at a high school, and that was like our first minicamp. It's like at some high school.
Oh, yeah. I remember that. I remember that vividly. I was where was I? 99. So I was working downtown as a security guard. That was before I even went to college. So I was 22, and I was I remember I was working at this law firm, Thompson Hine, because it was a Key Tower, the biggest building down there, the tallest one. I was on I can't remember the exact floor, like 40, something like that. But I remember like looking down because you could see the stadium, the new stadium, as they hastily built it up, and they slapped that Cleveland Brown Stadium on it at the last second. Like it was August, it was getting late into August before they even put that on there, and we had that man, and then it was such a hype preseason, dude. We had so much hope. Yeah, it's Spielman there for a while too. Remember that? Chris Spielman was on that team.
Yeah, he got hurt. He got hurt in training camp.
Fucking hell! The wheels fell off then, man. But we'll get the Browns in a second. But they're the second person from this '99 draft class I've had on. To the best of my memory, I had a Ricky Williams a while back. So you're number 2 on that. But what's the guy asking about the draft? Oh, was there any like combine parties? Did you and a bunch of the wide receivers like go out to Hooters or something like that, or was it just very, very strict? Like, describe the combine process?
I mean, you're not going out at all. You're getting ready for meetings. You're doing on-field workouts. You're meeting with coaches. You're meeting with GMs. You're meeting with front office personnel. So believe me, it isn't a party at all. It's basically a 3-day business interview to see if they're going to take you. And so now it's all publicized, but back then there was no cameras. So I think they probably show more than they probably want to nowadays. But back then it was just a lot of meetings and a lot of measurements and a lot of they want to know who you are, so they're going to invest money in you.
Oh, 100%. I mean, they're spending multi-million dollars on you if they want to get to. I want to know intimate details about every aspect about this person's life if I'm the owner of that team. And I know a lot of people are like, "Oh, it's so intrusive." Well, I mean, the person who is doing this, it's a shitty thing to say, but if they're free to do whatever they want. They don't have to be here at the combine. So this is nothing. You know what I mean?
Right. No, for sure.
All right, this is a good question from Doofer. He says, Darrin, what's your thoughts on the film The Water Boy? I think there needs to be another film, and I can think of 2 candidates right away. He's probably referring to me and you, but you were in a movie, right? We're in The Longest Yard or something like that. Describe your Hollywood experience.
Yeah, I was in The Longest Yard movie with Adam Sandler, which was really cool. I got a chance to meet Adam and work out for him, and it was interesting how it came about. I was actually playing arena football, and we played the Tampa Bay Storm in Tampa, and one of the coaches that was on the Tampa squad was also a casting director for the movie. So he actually got a hold of me after the game and said, "Hey, we're looking for a white receiver to play on the guards team, and he said, "Would you be interested?" And I said, "Yeah, I would love to be in a movie." So I had to go down I was going back to California anyways, because our season was about over. And then, I went down to LA and, did the whole casting call. And then they called me back and said I got the job. And really cool experience, man. Meeting Burt Reynolds, meeting Stone Cold Steve Austin, meeting, Kevin Nash, meeting obviously Adam Sandler and Bill Fichtner and all those guys. I mean, meeting Nelly, it was a really, really cool experience and something that, you'll never get a part to do again. So it's just, I had a great time doing that. And, I think looking back on it now, it's pretty cool because when the movie comes on, I'm in that movie, I catch a touchdown in that movie. I catch the flea flicker for a touchdown in the movie. That's me. So it's a pretty cool experience.
Hell yeah. That's a life lesson to you. If you guys are out there, you ever get a chance to be in a movie, say yes to that chance in the movie. Yeah, see, Duke didn't even know that. That's crazy as hell. And I'll give you a case example of this. There's a rapper named Spice One. If you ever heard of Spice One, he's saying around the early 90s. But he said he was offered the part of Kane in that movie, Menace to Society. He turned it down. Regrets it to this day. And said, always accept any movie role that's offered to you, even if it seems silly. Take that role, man, because you're going to love it. Look at there, 20 years later, The Longest Yard. Everybody's probably going to go watch it now. Hell yeah, that's awesome as well.
Yeah.
All right.
That's fun.
All right, so let's get back to this Browns team, man. It was a hastily assembled Sunday night opener against the Steelers. we're all pumped, man. They brought in Drew Carey. Drew Carey swore on national TV. It was back then. You didn't swear back then. He's like, hey, shut the fuck up. It was great. It was great just dropping F-bombs on national TV. And we go out there against the Steelers, man. We just get pummeled, shellacked.
There we go.
Was there any hope at all there for that 99, that early Browns, the expansion Browns team?
I think the way it's not set, it's, obviously being an expansion team, it's not set up to be successful right away, especially the way they're built, because especially back then, basically you just had your 7 rounds, and then you could sign your free agents before, and they had they had the expansion draft. So, when you have an expansion draft, the teams are not going to protect their most valuable players. So you're getting players that are probably at the bottom of the roster. So I think back then the NFL wasn't set up to have expansions team have success right away. I think it's gotten better since the 99 expansion and trying to be more competitive coming out the gate. But I don't think we were set up for success coming out the gate, but I think Cleveland was just excited to have a team back. They were excited to go to Cleveland Brown Stadium and tailgate and see the Browns and have the dog pound and all that kind of stuff. And so, it's not like they've had a bunch of success since 99. So it's not like it's changed a whole bunch, but I really enjoyed my time. I still get fan mail to this day sent to me everywhere I've worked. I get a fan mail from Cleveland. Want me to sign cards for them, want pictures signed for them. And shoot, I haven't played in 20-something years, man. So I think Cleveland has diehard fans. They love their Browns, and I'm hoping they can turn the corner this year.
Oh, for sure. Well, I mean, we go back to the white wide receiver thing. There's always that lineage. You get that one, blue collar guy. You were that guy for a little bit until because we had, going back to Brian Brennan. We had Brian Brennan. There was you, Joe Jurevicius. I played against Jurevicius in high school. He was a senior, and
he's an Ohio guy, right?
Yeah, he was right down the street here in Mentor. Really, really good dude. And next time if I see a Chiaverini, every now and then I see a Chiaverini jersey. Every now and then. Like you said, it's 25 years later. Next time I see one, I'll take a picture of it and send it.
Well, what's cool is I still have the Browns rookie record for most catches in a game. I had 10 against Jacksonville my rookie year. So to still have a Cleveland Browns record, which I think I broke Ernie Green's record, which was a record that was 40, 50 years old. So, I think that, whenever you can have some history in a great organization like Cleveland, I think it's pretty cool.
Have they ever invited you back for any alumni stuff?
I don't hear much from Cleveland, man. I would love to come back and even come back and do a card signing for somebody, and because people send me cards all the time. So I think if I did a card signing, people would probably show up and get the card signed. So if they set up a card signing, I can come back in the off season, man. I would love to come back.
You should come down to the tailgate. You sit there, hey, meet Darrin Chiaverini, sign some cards, drink some beer, smoke some. You don't have to smoke the weed. I won't tell them you're doing that, but dude, you love it down here.
I don't smoke weed. But I would definitely come back after the football season. Obviously, I'm a head football coach, so we're in football season right now. We just had a big win. We beat Saginaw Valley State in Michigan. We were 28-point underdogs, and we beat them 28-21. Was a huge victory on the road, and excited about the program we're building here at Northeastern State. I've been coaching college football now for close to 20 years, and now working my way up as a head coach. So I'm excited about what we're building here at NSU. We have a good football team this year.
Well, yeah, dude. The last 4 weeks or the last 6 weeks of the year, 4 more home games, and you guys are gonna be done by then. Come up to Cleveland, man. Bring the family up. We'll get you to the tailgate. You have a great time, dude. I'm telling you.
All right. Send me a message after the season, and I'll see if I can make it happen.
I got you, brother. I got you. All right, you are a Colorado guy, and we got to get into some Shedeur stuff. So we got the guy. All right. So and Shedeur is for whatever reason, he's a very polarizing figure. I think subconsciously, and a lot of people don't really realize how religious Shedeur is. Okay, there's a lot of people who are the religious types, and they want to see him succeed, so they take a lot of stuff very personal. That's just me. I don't know if that's a thing, but I think that's kind of in play a little bit. But I want you to do 2 things. One, compare Shedeur to all the QBs in Colorado since Cordell Stewart. Is he at the top of the list? If not, kind of rank him in there. And why on God's green earth did he drop to the 5th round?
I think it's always hard to compare eras, but obviously I know a lot about Colorado's history and know a lot about the quarterbacks that have played there. if you kind of go through the list, Cordell Stewart and Darrin Hagen are probably, 1A, 1B, somewhere around there. It isn't always about stats. It's about winning and, winning games at a high level and winning championships and winning bowl games. I think that's important to a quarterback's legacy, so I would definitely, put Cordell and Darrin Hagen at the top of that list. And then there's been some other great quarterbacks that, have done well there. Coy Detmer being one of them. Coy probably would have had better stats if he wouldn't have hurt, tore his ACL against Texas A&M his junior year. So that kind of set him back, and then you've had some great ones like, Joel Klatt was a good player. Bobby Pezzavena was a good player for him. I think Shedeur, to me, probably somewhere in that like 3 to 4 range, in my opinion. I think I'm a Shedeur fan. I really am, and I got some negative feedback because of what I said about his number being retired. I don't think his number should have been retired before Darrin Hagen, and it shouldn't have been retired before Cordell Stewart. I'm not saying that Shedeur's number shouldn't have been retired at some point, just like I didn't think that Travis's number should not be retired at some point, but not right now. Not right after the season, not after you went 9-4, didn't win a bowl game. And to me, I don't think that because you generated money for the university or because you put people in the stands that it's worthy of you having your number retired. I think that's where there's got to be a cooling off period. So you have time to really evaluate someone's legacy and evaluate someone's time at a university. And so, but I'm also a big Shedeur fan. I think Shedeur is a heck of a football player. And I was very surprised he dropped as far as he did. I think he's going to have a great NFL career. I'm hoping it happens in Cleveland. I do think that he is a winner. And, I think without Shedeur and Travis on last year's team, they're probably, a 6-6 team, So
Right. I
think Shedeur elevated the program, no question. I think Travis is a generational talent. I was a huge Travis Hunter fan. And I'm rooting for Shedeur. I was bothered by the fact that he dropped so far in the draft because you can't tell me that kid wasn't at least a second or third round pick. Now maybe he wasn't a first round pick, but he's definitely should have went either that second day. I didn't believe he was a 5th round draft pick. But the thing about playing quarterback is now he's got an opportunity. I mean, he's in the NFL now. No one cares that he was a 5th round pick now. All they care about, does he move the offense? Can he score points? And does he lead his team? I mean, that's all they're gonna judge him on at this point. So he's definitely been a polarizing figure, and that has to do a little bit with his dad and the Sanders name and everything. But he's going to be judged ultimately off his performances in the NFL. And every owner wants to win. So if Shedeur Sanders can help them win football games, they're going to sign him and they're going to develop him. So I think now it's just a matter of him playing good football.
No, 100%. I mean, you said something that made me chuckle because you said with Cleveland, I could see him succeeding and it not being Cleveland, and it's through no fault of his own. I mean, there's they obviously drafted Gabriel ahead of him, so there's something to like. I think they like Gabriel as a backup. I do. I see a lot of Colt McCoy kind of esque, very, very systematic. He can go out if your main guy goes down, Gabriel can go out there and hold the half. He can, he's not going to win you. Tyrod Taylor esque, just very, very stable. It's not going to win you some, not going to lose you some. Just keep it stable and let the defense win the game, kind of thing. I think that's what they see in Gabriel, and I think I think some people could say they're obsessed with the 2026 draft. I don't know, man. I watched some of these quarterbacks over the past couple of days. They don't really impress me that much compared to even guys like Shedeur. So we'll see.
I mean, to me, you don't draft Dylan and draft Shedeur if you're going to draft a quarterback next year. It just makes no sense. I mean, like,
right.
what are we doing? That's bad business, So
oh my goodness.
I think Joe Flacco is obviously, at the end of his career, and they probably want either Dylan or Shedeur to be the next guy, and that's why they kept 4 quarterbacks and then they traded Kenny. So, I mean, listen, I didn't think though all the talk about, the head coach, sabotaging Shador, I think was a bunch of bull crap. I mean, at the end of the day, they drafted Dylan where they did for a reason. And so he's going to get more opportunities than Shador because they drafted him higher. The NFL is not a fair league. I don't know if people know this or not, but it's not a fair league. Guys that are drafted higher get more opportunities than guys that are drafted lower. Just like free agents don't get as many opportunities as a draft pick. So I think that narrative needs to be thrown out the window. I mean, the head coach, is going to play the best players. And if they have the best chance to win, they're going to play them. They're not going to not play the kid. I mean, that's ludicrous.
100%, brother. All right, now your NFL career, this is a weird comparison when I was doing notes for this. It reminded me of Paul Walker in Varsity Blues a little bit, right? You had a nice trajectory and then a knee injury put you into coaching. You went
I definitely started off fast, man. I wish I could have stayed a little bit healthier in Cleveland because I was off to a really good start and was going to have a good career in Cleveland. And, injuries are part of the game. And then the thing about the NFL is, coaches get fired. Chris Palmer got let go, and then Butch Davis got hired, and then Butch Davis traded me to Dallas. That's the nature of the beast, man. They call it the NFL for a reason, not for long, man. So, I'm grateful that I at least had a career there. I had some good games in Cleveland. People still remember me, so I definitely made a mark. But yeah, obviously I would like to play, 4 or 5 more years in Cleveland because I think I could have had a really good career there. But again, I was on an expansion team and a lot of turnover with players, a lot of turnover with coaches. And so, looking back on it, man, I'm just grateful that I got 5 years in the NFL. So.
Yes, sir. Well, I mean, you went right into coaching. Was there another career path you thought you were going to take, or you're just so dedicated to football, you're going to find a way to make it work in coaching? How did that work?
I just, I had a passion for the game, and I, if I couldn't play it, I wanted to teach it to people, and so I always knew I was going to coach. I always knew. I just didn't know, where it was going to take me, and I've kind of found my footing as a college coach and now working my way up as a head coach. I've had a lot of success and I've had a lot of failures, man, but that's part of the journey, man. It's not going to be a smooth straight line. So, I've had my ups and downs as a coach and now fighting my way back up as a coach. And I like where I'm at right now. I'm on my way up. So just going to keep working hard.
Yeah, I looked up that Chafee, man. That's when I first started really reconnecting with you. Was on social media. Was you at Chafee College there? And man, you really turned those guys around. They that was a solid job there, like 11-0. Did you win the title in that conference too?
Yeah, we won our division title, and we won like the league title and all that kind of stuff, and then won the state bowl game, whatever it was called. And then I just wanted to continue to. I wanted to get back to 4-year level football where I could truly develop players over the course of 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 years, and taking over NSU, who historically had been a good program back in the 80s and 90s, but kind of really fallen on a lot of hard times. And so, last year was a struggle, just trying to build a program really from scratch in year one. And we were competitive in year one, weren't good enough yet, but this year we're good enough. And we beat a really good Saginaw Valley State team. They were in the Division II playoffs last year. They lost to the national champion Ferris State by 1 score. And so to beat Saginaw Valley on the road is a huge win. And it's probably the biggest win NSU's had in the last 20 years. And, being 28-point underdogs on the road is not easy, man. And so
what was the death stares? You had to get some death stares from them Saginaw fans leaving that stadium, right? I mean, geez, you're 28 points. You go in their house and whoop them. What's the deal, man?
I think they were honestly in shock that we were playing as good as we were because, we controlled the game. We had over 400 yards of offense. We really should have scored around 40-some points, but we had a couple field goals that we had to settle for in the red zone. But we moved the ball the entire game, only had 2 punts the entire game. So I think they were in shock that we were as good as we were coming out the gate. And I think that they realized in the second half, like, this is a good football team. They're not just making some plays here and there. Like, we had a good game plan. We executed the game plan on offense and defense. And, I told our team I wasn't surprised. I thought it was 2 good teams playing football, and we were the better team that day.
Yes, sir. Now we got a question from Doof. He's England, so he doesn't know too much about the Browns. What's the biggest upset Cleveland Browns have ever had? Well, Yeah, and in recent
I
history,
think us beating Pittsburgh in 1999 was
beautiful.
unbelievable.
That's beautiful.
And I had a huge catch in that game. So I would say that one, because no one thought we were going to beat Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh, especially after we got our butts kicked in the opener.
Well, that one. I mean, for me personally, more satisfying was probably that New Orleans
The Hail Mary.
Hail Mary, Costa Johnson. That was. I was at my buddy Bobby's house.
Beat Pittsburgh, though, man. That's just a different feeling.
It was. There's been some good. The last year's Pittsburgh win when Jameis did it in the Thursday night in the Snowdome. That was a great. Oh God, that was satisfying. I really liked it.
Hey, I gotta run though, man. I got meetings coming up, man.
For sure. Well, let me two more questions. I'll get you out of here. Beatles or Queen? Who would you pick out of those two bands?
Say it again.
Beatles or Queen? Who would you pick out of those two bands?
I'm going Beatles.
All right, perfect. And how do people get a hold of you? And what's your next step after this? You think you're gonna be a head coach of Colorado after Deion retires?
Maybe someday. I'm not even focused on. I mean, I love Colorado. Don't get me wrong. And there was a time where I was close. I was the interim head coach, and honestly, in my heart, I thought I should have got it back when I didn't get it. But at this point now, I'm not really focused on Colorado. I'll always be a Buff. I'll always love CU. But now I'm just trying to, carve my own legacy and do it my way, And I think the best thing I ever did was go back down to keep developing as a coach, keep developing as a play caller, because I've been able to make mistakes and learn from it. And when you're at the Division I level, there's so much scrutiny that a lot of these coaches become first-time head coaches at the Division I level, and they're not ready for the job. And so I've had the good fortune to go down and develop myself as a head coach at different levels of college football, continue to develop myself as a play caller and develop my offense and keep evolving as an offensive play caller. And, I'm on the right trajectory. I think, like I said, we're doing good things. And I think people are starting to take notice of my path. And, my job is to keep building this program. And as we continue to win games, then I'll get more attention. And then, the right opportunity will come either at a bigger program or whatever it may be. But right now I'm focused on helping NSU become an elite program at the Division II level. And I think we're on our way. I mean, like I said, beating Saginaw showed me that we got a chance to be really good this year. We got to keep getting better, keep practicing, fixing the things we got to fix as coaches on both sides of the ball. But I like where I'm at. And, if people want to get a hold of me, they can follow me on Twitter. I'm at Coach Chev6. Same thing on Instagram at Coach Chev6. And, I appreciate people being supportive. And like I said, I'll always love CU. And maybe someday I'll go back there as the head guy, but that's not my focus right now. I think my focus is just doing the best thing. I always tell people all the time, be where your feet are, man. If you do the best job where your feet are, then opportunities will come. But if you keep worrying about the next job, then you won't do a good job where you're at. So I'm just worried about where I'm at right now.
All right. I'd like to thank Darrin Chiaverini for coming out. I'll message you after your season's over, see what's up with some tailgate, buddy. You take it easy, man. Have fun out there.
I appreciate it. See you.
Yes, sir. All right, later, guys. And for those watching, join us Friday. Don't forget Friday, 5 p.m. Eastern, 10 p.m. Britain time. Dan Spivey, the wrestler's going to be on. Waylon Mercy, if you remember from the WWE. Talk to you guys later. Peace.